Everybody knows Masayoshi Son. Masa runs one of the largest companies in Japan and among the most successful investment and technology companies anywhere in the world, one of the most successful investors in the world. And we've just concluded a very productive meeting. And today I'm thrilled to announce that SoftBank will be investing $100 billion in America, creating 100,000 American jobs at a minimum. And he's doing this because he feels very optimistic about our country since the election. And many other people are also coming in with tremendous amounts of money. You probably noticed that a poll was just taken. It's business is literally in 39 years there's been nothing like it. It's been the biggest increase. Small business owners gave it a 41% jump. It's the biggest jump that we've had in 39 years, and nobody's ever seen anything like it. And it's just they're very optimistic. This historic investment is a
$1 trillion to anybody who can repeat what the fuck he just said. 39% jump in what? What did small businesses give a jump to? What the fuck is he even talking about?
It's business is literally in 39 years there's been nothing like it. It's been the biggest increase. Small business owners gave it a 41% jump. It's the biggest jump that we've had in 39 years, and nobody's ever seen anything like it. And it's just they're very optimistic. This historic investment is a monumental demonstration of confidence in America's future, and it will help ensure that artificial intelligence, emerging technologies, and other industries of tomorrow are built, created, and grown right here in the USA. One of the beautiful things about Masa is he's very much involved with emerging technology, probably knows it maybe better than almost anybody. So it's a great honor. And some of you remember after the 2016 election, also SoftBank committed to invest $50 billion in.
People are saying there are so many cops around Luigi because a rich guy died, but what is the real answer? My guess is that this is like a nationally sensational story where there's a huge amount of people that are probably incentivized to copycat and are like worshiping this dude. So you probably have a ton of police officers so that nothing weird happens with people trying to like free the guy. I feel like it's pretty obvious, no?
In our country, and they did. And I'm very pleased to say that they kept that promise in every way, shape, and form. And now they're looking to do 100. And I've looked at their books. They do have the possibility of doing more. I'm going to ask him to do a little bit more. But first, I'm going to ask him to speak and just to say a few words. Masa, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Please.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very excited. I would really like to celebrate the great victory of President Trump. And my confidence level to the economy of the United States has tremendously increased with his victory. So because of that, I'm now excited to commit this $100 billion and 100,000 jobs into the United States.
Okay, explain this then. Eric Adams being there. Isn't he under like some huge fucking scandal? What? He's probably trying to leech clout, unironically.
This is double of last time, as President Trump said. Because I say, oh, President Trump is a double down president. I'm going to have to double down, you know, $100 billion and 100,000 jobs. This is, you know, my confidence level because that has doubled down. So I am truly excited to make this happen. And of course, business is important, technology is important. But one more thing I'm really hoping is that this President Trump would make the world, bring the world into...
Japanese tycoon Masayoshi Son and President-elect Donald Trump announced plans for technology and telecoms giant SoftBank Group to invest $100 billion in projects in the U.S. over the coming 4 years. Trump said the investments in building artificial intelligence infrastructure would create 100,000 jobs, twice the 50,000 promised when Son pledged $50 billion to U.S. investments after Trump's victory in 2016. Wait, did that happen in 2016? SoftBank's Masayoshi Son promised Trump he'd invest $50 billion and create 50,000 U.S. jobs. Did he deliver? 3 years ago in the gilded lobby of Trump Tower in Manhattan, 2 ebullient billionaires stood in front of reporters and made big promises. One was Donald Trump, who had just weeks pulled an upset victory against Hillary Clinton. Now, 3 years later, Son is close to the $50 billion mark. A year ahead of schedule, a SoftBank spokesperson says the Vision Fund and other SoftBank vehicles have poured $47 billion into the U.S. economy by way of investing in dozens of companies, from Silicon Valley darlings like messaging app Slack to food delivery service DoorDash. Wait, it's just capital investment? It's just FDI or whatever, right? Don't people already do this anyway? No? What? Okay, all right. That's literally what creating jobs means, though. No, you're lying and you're cringe. Donald Trump is making it sound like he's investing this in like building factories or building companies or doing some things, not just like a fund that invests in like startups. Bullshit. Fuck you. I don't even give a fuck if that's your interpretation of this. The average Trumple, when they hear this, they're thinking like, oh my God, $100 billion investment in the United States. He must be building manufacturing plants or some bullshit. It sounds like he's just investing. They're just investing in companies looking for like what was the incentive here for this to even happen? I mean, it's not bad. I'm just saying it's not, I don't think there's anything exceptional. Like, what are the jobs being created?
Peace again. That's my additional hope. And I think he will actually make it happen. So anyway, I'm excited to go, and we were discussing, and President Trump said, Masa, double down is not enough. Maybe, go for more, right?
That's what I'm going to ask him right now. Would you make it $200 million instead of that? He can actually, believe it or not, he can actually afford to do that. Would you do that?
Well, my promise is 100, but, he's now asking to do more. I think, with your leadership, my partnership with you, with your support, I will try to make it happen.
That's good.
All right.
200. He'll make it happen. 200 million investment.
He is a great negotiator.
He's a brilliant guy and did an unbelievable job, and the people of Japan and all over the world are very proud of him. They have tremendous respect for him. So when he does what he just did, and I would be surprised if what did go to Chile. When you say you'll try, I know you'll do it.
I will really try. And I need your support, though.
You'll have my support.
All right.
You'll have our country's support.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you.
You want to say hello to the people of Japan who are all watching?
Well, I'm sure our people in Japan are proud to make the partnership of U.S. and Japan be stronger. And I'm very excited to make this happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you. It's amazing. It's a great gentleman, a great leader, and a great investor. So to have that offer made, and we have so many companies coming in now that will be announcing, or that will announce themselves. We don't have to be with them to do it, but they'll be announcing. And as I said, small business optimism took a 41-point jump. 41 points. It went up 41 points. That's unheard of, and that's the biggest they.
Are you retarded? How do you think these companies hire more people or expand their infra? Hint, it requires investment. Oh, I thought people just took investment and fucking cummed on it. No, investment is good. It allows businesses to expand. I'm not saying investment is bad. I'm just saying, like, I invested this guy. When Donald Trump says, I got this guy to invest $50 billion in America, the assumption is that it's going to be some guy who's like building a manufacturing plant or some bullshit. Like, I feel like that's what most people hear, not just you're buying equity in American businesses. Like, Chinese people do this all the time, but supposedly that's bad, right? Like, imagine Biden were to come out and say, hey, we incentivized Chinese investors to buy up $250 billion of real estate in the United States last year. Everybody like, what? That's the worst thing ever. What the fuck? Why are Chinese people buying our homes? But when a Japanese foreign investor buys up a whole bunch of like equity in American companies, that's like championed or celebrated. Like, but I mean, it's not bad. I'm just saying that phrased a different way, Trumpers would oppose this. And I don't even know what Trump is doing to like incentivize this. He's just like investing in the U.S. markets, in startups. Like,
They think in recorded history, but they know at least a minimum of 39 years, so that's great. But on behalf of the American people, I want to thank Masa for his faith in what's happening with our country and what's happening with the world. There's a whole light over the entire world. Many people, some reporters, in speaking to them, they said, it actually is true. A couple of them are not necessarily friends of mine, but they said it is actually true that there's a light shining over the world. We're trying to help very strongly in getting the hostages back, as you know, with Israel and the Middle East. We're working very much on that. We're trying to get the war stopped, that horrible war that's going on in Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine. We're going to, we've got a little progress. It's a tough one. It's a nasty one. It's nasty. People are being killed at levels that nobody's ever seen. It's very level fields, and the only thing that stops a bullet is a body, a human body. And the number of soldiers that are being killed on both sides is astronomical. I've never seen anything like that. And rapidly, I get reports every week, and it's not even, it's like just they're going down. Nobody's seen anything like it. It's a very flat surface, a very flat land. That's why it's great farming land. It's the.
I hate my life. The fuck are we? What the fuck are you talking about? Why?
Help very strongly in getting the hostages back, as you know, with Israel and the Middle East. We're working very much on that. We're trying to get the war stopped, that horrible war that's going on in Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine. We're going to, we've got a little progress. It's a tough one. It's a nasty one. It's nasty. People are being killed at levels that nobody's ever seen. It's very level fields, and the only thing that stops a bullet is a body, a human body. And the number of soldiers that are being killed on both sides is astronomical. I've never seen anything like that. And rapidly, I get reports every week, and it's not even, it's like just they're going down. Nobody's seen anything like it. It's a very flat surface, a very flat land. That's why it's great farming land. It's the breadbasket for the world, actually. But it's very flat, and there's nothing to stop a bullet but a body. There's no protection, no nothing. And what's happening there is far worse than people are reporting for both sides. So we're going to do our best, and we've been doing our best, and we'll see what happens. But since the election, I've been working every day to put the world at ease a little bit, to get rid of the wars. We had no wars when I left office, and now it's...
There weren't drone strikes in Yemen? What happened? Wasn't there stuff going on in Syria? Wasn't there an ongoing war in Afghanistan? Wasn't there... I don't know.
The whole world is blowing up. But there's great optimism, and you saw that by SoftBank. Starting on day one, we'll implement a rapid series of bold reforms to restore our nation to full prosperity. We're going to go full prosperity and to build the greatest economy the world has ever seen, just as we had just a short time ago. We had it in my term. We had the greatest economy that the world had seen. We were blowing away everybody.
What the fuck? What is his speech? Or never mind. I'm sorry. He's not like just, it's just where he's going on his, okay.
Our country was doubling up on China, doubling up on everybody, and everybody knows it. And then we had to slow it down with COVID, unfortunately, at the end. But even then, I gave it back with a substantial increase of the stock market, bigger than it was pre-COVID, so it was pretty amazing. Already preparations are underway to slash massive numbers of job-killing regulations, eliminating 10 old regulations for every new one. You put a new regulation on, you have to get rid of 10. And
I thought it was 2 for 1 before. Now it's 10 for 1? Jesus Christ.
we'll be able to do it. And that was about the percentage we had. We cut more regulations than any president has ever cut by far, actually, by approximately 5 times. Some of those regulations, unfortunately, were put back on, but we'll catch up.
Like, what do we even talk? So we got rid of lots of regulations, more than anyone, but then some regulations came back. But when we come back, we're going to get rid of more regulations.
Very quickly, we'll catch up with it. One of the things I'd like to ask the Biden administration, as you probably heard, there are 2 events that took place. We're talking about a friendly takeover, a friendly transition, as they like to say. This is a friendly transition, and it is, but there are 2 events that took place that I think are very terrible. One is that if people don't come back to work, come back into the office, they're going to be dismissed. And somebody in the Biden administration gave a 5-year waiver of that, so that for 5 years, people don't have to come back into the office. It involved 49,000 people. For 5 years, they don't have to go. They just signed this thing. It's ridiculous. So it was like a gift to a union, and we're going to obviously be in court to stop it. The other thing is...
Wait, I thought...
Takeover, a friendly... there are 2 events that took place. We're talking about a friendly takeover, a friendly transition, as they like to say. This is a friendly transition, and it is, but there are 2 events that took place that I think are very terrible. One is that if people don't come back to work, come back into the office, they're going to be dismissed. And somebody in the Biden administration gave a 5-year waiver of that, so that for 5 years, people don't have to come back into the office. It involved 49,000 people. For 5 years, they don't have to go. They just signed this thing. It's ridiculous.
Oh, crazy. I thought that Trump was going to be the pro-union, pro-worker president. Okay.
So it was like a gift to a union, and we're going to obviously be in court to stop it. The other thing is really terrible. We spent a tremendous amount of money on building the wall. The wall was designed specifically by the Border Patrol because it's very hard to climb. They need to have see-through. They need it to be steel because you can't cut. It's very powerful steel. It's very hard steel. It's a special type of steel, but very, very hard to cut. Inside the steel, as you know, we pour concrete, and that's a grade 10 concrete, which is a very strong concrete, very as though you were building about a 60-story building. It's very powerful concrete. They've made tremendous technology advances in the word concrete. Who would think that? But I know that from the construction industry. Today, what you can do with concrete is incredible. So we have a very...
You should see the computers they have today. They're faster than 1 gigahertz. Who would have thought we could do better than Pentium 4? You won't believe these processors today. More than 2 or more than even 4 cores. You guys thought the Q6600 was big? Man, you should see the amount of cores they got on these bad boys these days.
Very strong concrete. And then we have a rebar. We put rebar inside the concrete, and the rebar likewise is very hard to cut. So it's a very expensive process, very expensive wall. And then we put a anti-climb plate on the top. You saw that. And I didn't like the look of it, but then when I watched, we had people testing.
Oh my God, where are my liberals at? Fuck me. Wait, hold on. I have a studio now. I just thought of the fucking best fucking game show. Oh my God, I just thought of the best fucking game show. You bring on 3 Republicans who voted for Donald Trump, and then you play like 4 minutes of a Trump speech, and each of the 3 Republicans has to try to summarize what the fuck he just said, and then whoever like gets the closest to the right answer like gets points or whatever. I feel like you could build a whole game show around like just interpreting what the fuck Trump is actually saying. Fuck, this would be a Keno idea. You would have to have 3 Republicans on the other side to agree on what Trump actually fucking said as well, or you need like some kind of somewhat impartial / slightly Republican judge or something. Oh my God, this would be such a good fucking show idea. Holy fuck.
Climb was actually testing, and they were not able to get over the anti-climb plate, so I said, all right, I guess we're going to put it on. That plate on top, which I never loved the look of it, but it works so unbelievably well, you have to do it. So we spent a lot of money on building it, and we have hundreds of miles that we put up. A lot of people don't realize, but we did 571 miles of wall. That's why we had such good records, in addition to the fact that Mexico helped us with their military. They kept people out, and they were actually very good under the past leader. But now we ordered an additional 200 miles of wall. It's very expensive, and now it's about double the price of what it would have been 6 years ago. And
is that like 200 miles of wall, like for new wall, or like to replace old wall, or would the border grow, or?
The administration is trying to sell it for 5 cents on the dollar, knowing that we're getting ready to put it up. And what they're doing is really an act. It's almost a criminal act. They know we're going to use it, and if we don't have it, we're going to have to rebuild it, and it'll cost double what it cost years ago, and that's hundreds of millions of dollars, because you're talking about a lot of wall. I built much more than I said I was going to build. But then after it was built, I said, we can do some more because it's sort of like water people flow through. And that will pretty much really take care of it. And what happened is they just, as you see, they're trying to sell it for 5 cents on the dollar.